Hey, welcome aboard on a Monday night as we get counting down to the holidays. This is the A Game. I'm Rob Acampora from the Shared Universe Studios in Red Bank. The man next to me virtually from his mother's basement. We'll talk about his podcast throughout this broadcast. But the man is back on the road doing a lot of comedy. As a matter of fact, I think he's got 2 cruises coming up. And then in 2023, we will talk about Welcome to the Family Tour 2023, where he's got some dates already lined up. He is New Jersey's bad boy of comedy, Mike Marino. What is going on?
Thank you so much for having me on your show. Great introduction. Thanks, you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And by the way, props to Gary Pastore for linking us all up. That was very nice of Gary to do that. And Gary, if you're watching, continued recovery from what you've been going through with your back. Hopefully you'll be well soon.
Very sad that he's going through what he's going through, but he's a strong man. He's going to make a big comeback. Very talented guy here from the state of New Jersey, and he lives maybe a mile from me here in Scotch Plains.
Oh, I didn't realize you were that good. You practically are neighbors. Holy crap.
Walking distance. He
wow.
Out of high school where I went to high school.
Oh, small world. Small world. I'm glad. No, see, all the more reason now I see the connection between you and Gary in a big way. When it comes to comedy, I got to dive right into this because I find it interesting to watch comedians trying to, as I say, maneuver through a lot of shit. And there's a lot to maneuver these days. But the underlying thing is, I think we all want to laugh. Inside, we really do need to laugh a little bit more in some of these crazy times. Do you find yourself feeling a little more, let's say, laid back, or a better word to say, are you more concerned about your comedy, or you just kind of go, look, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to do, and if you like it, great, and if you don't, that's fine, but I got to be true to myself?
I keep my comedy about me and my life. So if you're offended by me and my life, what the hell were you doing in my life?
That's a really good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it.
And it's not that I don't care. I do care. I want everybody to enjoy what I do, from young kids to senior citizens and every ethnic background I can entertain around the globe.
Amen.
But if there's anybody going to be out there that's going to start nitpicking about what I say or what I do, and they should just stay amongst themselves. Because quite honestly, there's been hecklers in the stand-up comedy world in the life of stand-up comedy. There's always one person going to want to up you. And so that portion of stand-up really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
They just changed the wording. Used to be a heckler.
Yeah.
Now it's a cancel culturist or something like that. It's always the same thing.
Yeah, I never thought of it quite like that.
So as far as I'm concerned, bring it on.
Amen.
Bring it on. I'm doing this a long time. I will cut you down to size.
That, as somebody who's watched enough of your video clips, yeah, you are razor sharp, and you know how to play an audience almost to the point where it's like you crack a joke and it's like they're starting line. No, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. That's hilarious. You're not afraid to kind of be kind of egging them on. You know it's funny. Go ahead. Think of that's the one that you do want to make people think. And a lot of things that you talk about are really, like you said, a lot of real life things. When you talked about, good example, self-checkout at the supermarket, and you're even saying, you know what, we should get a 10% discount because we're doing all the work. And I'm thinking about it. He's right. Why aren't we getting a discount?
Pay me.
Yeah.
Pay me for doing the job you watch me do. You're watching.
Yeah.
You're not doing. And you're getting paid. Nobody comes into my job and says, let me do the jokes for you. You go ahead and wait over there.
It's true. But we all know not everybody can do what you do. No doubt about it.
It's pretty brutal. I'll give you an example of something that people are 100% not aware of.
Okay, please.
Sometimes comedians entertain at private events.
True.
Christmas party. So I just did one this past Friday night in Chicago. And 300 people. And I said to the master of ceremonies, don't introduce me until everybody's done having their dinner and the wait staff is done cleaning up. And he brought me up right in the middle of dinner. I said, this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
No one's going to turn around and look at me. They're going to eat the chicken and the pasta, and they're going to talk to their friends. However, I got a great skill, and I'm going to make them turn around. And some of these people are going to get pissed off. But there's only one way to do it, and that's to go get them.
Yeah.
And you grab the microphone and you get off the stage and you go table to table and you tell everybody it's showtime. and then you got to dig in. Take you about 15 minutes, and everybody's looking like, holy crap. Then another half hour goes by, and you get a standing ovation. But it's a knack. You got to learn how to do it, and it takes a while.
Not only a knack, but I'll take it one step further. You can't show any fear. I mean, there's no fear when you do that.
Yes. And in your heart, you're like, oh, my God, start the car. This is going to be a disaster.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, the pulse rate's at 190. You're about to throw up and going, but yet you can't let that out in front of that audience. You got to be like, I will win here. I'm going to win you over in the first 15 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes, like you said, you got the standing ovation, which is fantastic.
Exactly. That's it in a nutshell. You got to dig in and hope it won't take too long for them to turn around. I mean, I got a lot of great things that I do that make people go, holy shit, what did he just say? I love this guy. Damn. Oh, I'm afraid.
I want to give a good example of that, as a matter of fact. And this is one that I know as somebody who's turned 50. Everything you said in this little 3-minute clip, I would say about 80% of it has happened to me. And anybody who's over 50, take a listen to this. This is a sample of Mike Marino here on the A Game. Check it out.
I used to be a model, too. Hey, I didn't say last week, a little while ago. Hey, look at me, though. This is what happens when you get to your 50s. Let me tell you something. You're a good-looking dude, but wait till you get to your 50s. Your body starts breaking down. You get weird ailments. Anybody here late 40s, early 50s? Yeah. Sucks, doesn't it? You ever stand still? You're just standing still, and all of a sudden, ow, what happened to my ass? Holy shit, the fucking tingle in the ass is shocking my foot. It's like a Rocky thing. Anybody here ever sneeze and fuck up a calf? I didn't even think you could do it. I'm like, achoo, oh shit! I'm all fucked up! You ever wake up from a nap with a separated shoulder? You just wake up, you're like, who fucking kicked my ass while I was sleeping? Who punched me? Was Rocky here? You ever get a twitch in your eye and ask other people if they can see it? You start slapping your own face like, what the fuck is wrong with the eye? I'm lactose intolerant now. I can't eat cheese, pizza, macaroni. Now I walk down a dairy aisle and I fart looking at milk. You ever do it? I can't even look at it. I'm like, look, the milk, I can't have the milk. I have high cholesterol, so my doctor put me on Lipitor. I started to take Lipitor until I saw the TV commercial for Lipitor. And the commercial tells you how great it's going to be, but then it whispers and speaks very quickly how it's going to kill you and make you shit oil while you're sleeping. See this commercial? Take Lipitor. It will lower your blood cholesterol level by 60%. You're going to die, you fucking idiot. Don't take this bullshit. You're shit oil while sleeping. I tried to rewind the commercial. Did it just say I'm going to shit oil? I think I'd rather have high cholesterol than run the risk of an oil slip out of my ass while I'm talking to somebody. Because that would be my luck. I'd be out on a date with a hot-looking girl, and she'll look at me and go, Michael, I think I smell shit. I'm like, yeah, but my cholesterol level's fantastic.
Now, I'm going to start by saying the pain in the ass, that happened to me once. I found out I tweaked my sciatic nerve, and yeah, the shooting pain in the leg that went to the knee, went to the foot, had the out of nowhere. It just took, like, what the? So I've had that happen. The arm thing, it wasn't the shoulder, but falling asleep on your arm, and suddenly your whole hand has fallen asleep. That's never happened before. What in the... And all because suddenly I've turned 50, and all this shit comes on board. So, yep. I get it. And I think that's a great thing about your comedy. It's a great example. You're talking about stuff that may have happened to you, but I think just about everybody's had some kind of experience, or at least a piece of that can go, oh my God, yes, I get that. I totally get it.
Yep. It's amazing all the different ailments I'm getting in my body these days. And then you have conversations with your friends, and I'm like, yeah, it happens to me all the time too.
It's like, and they say, well, it's a bitch getting old. It's like, oh, well, let's stop this. Okay. Can we just stop? Maybe let's just have all the body replacements now, while we're young enough to deal with it. And suddenly we'll be like, we're 80, we're stronger, we're bionic, but we're stronger.
I'm having conversations with my friends in our 50s. We ask each other questions like, can you shit? How often do you shit? It's very difficult. I have to drink Tang. It's like an orange powder. Make myself regular.
And especially if you think about it, if you've got friends that have been like, if you're talking to friends you've had for maybe 20, 30 years, you're sitting to yourself going, this is the last conversation I ever thought I'd be having with some of my high school or college friends ever.
Yep. When you were younger, you were like, hey, man, anybody go out on a date the other night? Do you want to go to the bar? Should we go to the football game? Then you get older. Can you shit? What does it look? Do you look at it? You got to check. My doctor said you got to check the color.
I knew this was going to be a fun night with you, Mike. I knew that right going into this, so I appreciate
you got to check the color.
Check the color. It's like going, well, what if it's like a 10? And there might be a little, if it's a little red, you got a problem. Call the doctor now, will you?
I don't see anything red in there. Well, I had some pimentos.
Yo, well
that's disgusting.
It is. Well, this is what happens. 2 Italians, no waiting. Marino on one side, Acampora on the other, as we're doing the A game here. The campaign that you have in your comedy, Make America Italian Again, is going to resurface in 2024. And there's a couple things that I noticed about your routine. And some of it just is like, I get it. You, right away, you even said, I wouldn't tweet anymore. There'd be no more tweets, which would make both sides parties happy. So I was like going, smart. But you had a good explanation for that.
With all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, when you watch the news, Trump being indicted and all of that stuff, I mean, what if we did have a wise guy running the country? And they were asked questions, what happened? Well, I don't know.
Exactly. Well, I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget this quote, as you have said in a routine. If an Italian becomes president, you don't know nothing, you didn't see nothing, you don't say nothing.
That's my platform.
Yes. It's that needs to be in the back of the t-shirt. I'm telling you, that should be on the back of the t-shirt.
Thank you. I think maybe I'll do that. Right now I got a Make America Italian Again t-shirts, and my new show's supposed to be called Welcome to the Family, Make America Italian Again Part 2.
Part 2. Okay, to get it official. And
I've been running for president for 16 years.
Well, you never. Maybe as an independent candidate, you have a chance this year. You never know. 2 years.
You can vote for me more than once. Come on.
By the way, give me photo number 5 because this is the campaign shirt, Marino 24.
Wow.
You can find that on Mike's webpage, by the way. And for $20, I tell you, that's a nice looking t-shirt. I like that. I will gladly support you on your journey as you try this again.
It says Make America Italian Again on the back of that t-shirt, Marino 2024. And it's a great deal. It's only $20. I'll get them to you for Christmas.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Let me talk about the podcast for a second. You've been doing this for a while. I know a lot of podcasts started during the pandemic. Was that sort of the antithesis for you to get it started so you can stay sharp, get in contact with people? What was the deal from Live from My Mother's Basement?
Kind of doing it before the pandemic because when you get to tour and you're in all these different countries, all these different states, I was showing people what it looks like where I'm going. And there was a time where I was entertaining on these cruise ships that were pulling into Cuba. And whoever got to go to Cuba in how many years? So here I am in Cuba.
Yeah.
And I just put on my Instagram and I said, you got to see this. You got to see this. Hey, live from my mother's basement. It's me, Mike Marino in Cuba. And my producer, Tatiana, she started airing them and people started liking them. I said, you know what? Let's just make this official. Every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, let's make a podcast. We'll do it on all social media. We'll put it up on YouTube and see what happens. Well, since I am a touring comedian, I'm lucky I get some sponsors and they started paying some bills. Nice. And away you go. So I'm hoping I keep on doing it and become more of a professional radio personality like you.
Hey, look, man, I will tell you, after doing this on and off for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I look a lot younger than when I say, but it's true. On and off 30 years, it is an interesting ride. It is not the easiest ride, but when you hit it, it's all worth it. And that's the same in comedy. When you hit it even a little bit, you kind of go, hey, you know what? I can enjoy this a little bit more. I got more paying gigs. Like for you got a couple of cruises coming up. You've already got the kickoff of your tour, which will happen in January in Florida, and you're already filling in dates as we speak. Yeah. So, you've been very busy, and that's got to feel really good. And on top of all this, you even get to act on the side. So right now, I would say life is not bad in the Mike Marino world.
I'm a very, very lucky, blessed guy. And I'll tell you this. We just went up to Toronto, Canada to do a show. And before the show, there's an Italian organization up there, and they invited me out to their social club.
Mhm.
We go to the social club. There was like 25 people sitting at the table, and everybody wanted to meet me. And it's really great. You're having pasta and meatballs, and everybody shooting the shit. You know, when you go to a nice Italian party, you don't order; they just know what you like
Yeah.
everybody else. And yeah, and there were comedians there, some older, some younger, up and coming, some known, some not known, and people who sell garments and different businesses. And I could hear them saying to each other, "It's amazing. He's so nice. Such a normal guy. He's so humble." And I'm like, "Well, what did you all think I was going to be?
It's
Did
interesting.
everybody think I'm going to be like some kind of a, pansy ass bitch because I'm a certain type of level comedian?" And I'm not. And then you do the show, and everything was great. Then in Chicago this morning, leaving Chicago after entertaining, I guess, 900 people, some guy comes walking up to me, and I'm just standing there with an overcoat on, my woolly hat because it was freezing cold,
Mhm.
and I was looking in the window to buy some clothes. You could shop in the airport now, right?
Right.
Guy goes, "Excuse me, but are you Mike Marino?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Mike Marino." And he goes, "Can I get an autograph? I'm a really big fan." And I said, "Absolutely." "Where did you see me? Did you see me performing here this weekend in Chicago?" And he goes, "No, I just recognized you when you were walking through the airport."
That's a good feeling. That's a
How
really
you doing, buddy? Sure, you could get a picture.
Yeah.
And then he looked at me, goes, "Wow, you're just really humble, aren't you?" And I go, "Man, I guess you shouldn't meet your favorite star, because if they act like an asshole to you, then what are you gonna do?"
Well, you hear stories about that over the years.
Yeah,
Like, all of a sudden,
yeah,
you're meeting somebody that you absolutely desired and admired, and then all of a sudden, they are the biggest jerk in the world, and then you lose all kinds of faith and respect in the person and in the industry too.
yeah. Won't even watch their movies anymore.
No, you wouldn't. Absolutely not.
So
Since you bring up movies, there is a holiday movie that has been floating about since last year. It is called Four Cousins and a Christmas, that you are a part of. As a matter of fact, Ming, let me get this still before I do the video. If you scroll up to photo number 1, little still of Mike on the movie there. We're going to play the trailer in just a second. Mar Vista Entertainment did release it. Some recognizable names in this movie, by the way. Robert Davi, who I've interviewed in the past in radio, who is a lovely, lovely guy. Could not get him to sing on the air. I was a little I tried, because I hear he's got a great singing voice, but he wouldn't do it. But Terry Polo, another person, I worked in Delaware for about 10 and a half years in radio. She's a Delaware girl. Never got her on the air, but I always admired her work. And Nick Totoro, who I think can do anything. He can do drama, he can do comedy. So you got a good basis, and you got some great young actors. You're a part of this. It seems like I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it over the weekend, but it seems like another one of these. It's a fun holiday movie, and it seems like it would have been fun to work on, was it?
yes, because there's also a lot of history there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with the creator, writer, producer, director, Maria Kapp. She's from Long Island,
Mm-hmm.
and we've known each other for a little while. And she asked me to play this role in this project. On the other hand, Robert Davi and I did a lot of shows together because he does sing as a Sinatra review type
Yeah.
event. And I had been his opening act many, many times.
Oh, I see. I did not know that. Oh,
So we did a bunch of tours together.
yeah.
We've done jazz and blues clubs together, and we have a lot of mutual friends. So when we went down to the set, he didn't even know I was in the movie, and it was hilarious because he is the lead and he plays my father-in-law. Now, I never met Terry Polo until that day. And of course, she is in all the Meet the Fokker movies and tons of other movies and shows.
Yes.
And I'm playing her husband. So
You
it was
lucky
kinda
dog.
cool. And Nick Totoro, I know for a bunch of other projects that I was on, and we're acquaintances, but he has a son who happens to be a really big fan of mine.
Oh,
So,
really? Wow.
yeah, and Nick was thinking about doing some stand-up. So I knew all these cats when we went down there, and we had a lot of fun, and I invited them all out to watch me at the Laugh Factory. So I'm really happy that I'm part of the project.
Does it make it easier or harder because you know these people? I mean, I would imagine it makes the chemistry work, but does it make it harder in any way because you know them and you're trying to get into character and maybe it could get a little I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing and thinking on the surface, I know these people. There's a bit of a relationship that could help the chemistry, but at the same token, it can make it maybe a little more intense if it's not clicking, if you understand what I mean.
Well, it can be a little awkward because Robert Davi and I know each other from clowning around on stage like the
Right.
Rat Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're supposed to be being serious. So when I was trying to be serious, he's kind of looking at me like, "Why aren't you cracking no jokes?" And I'm like, "Oh." So that was that. But nothing else was uncomfortable. Everything else was fine. And oddly enough, Nick Turturro had a little bit of a stomach problem.
Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And yeah, and Davi was telling Nick, "Oh, Marino went through a really bad stomach problem. You should ask him questions. He knows all about it." So in between takes, Nick Turturro is going, "So who's your gastroenterologist?" I'm like, "Who's going to believe that I'm doing this movie and you guys want to know who my gastroenterologist is?"
Just is sure.
And the funniest thing is, this is the real behind the scenes conversations. And then you hear action. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, and now you gotta. Okay, now we gotta turn the switch.
Yeah.
By the way, it is now available on Amazon Prime. You can also rent it on YouTube. Let's check out the trailer. It is Four Cousins and a Christmas. Here it is.
Saying goodbye can sometimes be easy, but most times it's not. I'm Jennifer. This is Madeline, my free-spirited sister. Stephanie, the perfect little law student. And last but not least, Millie, the oldest cousin. We haven't seen each other in forever. When Mom passed, Grandma followed soon after. And Grandpa asked the four of us to sing at her funeral.
It's the four of you together again. What is this?
I can't remember the last time I saw you all together in the same room.
Grandpa pushed Mom away because she got pregnant. Because of Grandpa, things between Mom and the family were never the same again. You just let Mom leave.
That was her choice.
Then there's Uncle Tommy. He runs the family pizza business.
Tony, you screwed up the Uncle Tommy special.
This is the new label.
And of course, Uncle Seb. He was Mom's favorite.
I think we should do a taste test. What do you think?
To Grandma.
Who are you?
I'm the great-great-granddaughter of Alfonso, who's your mother's first cousin.
Hey, did you know that?
Casper?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Are you stalking me?
No.
I want you to leave.
Things aren't great in my marriage.
I can't do this anymore.
When were you going to tell Mom and Dad that you're pregnant? When were you going to tell me?
Everyone may have forgiven you for what you did to Mom, but I haven't, and I never will.
You're just like your mother.
Tell me why you weren't there for her.
I'm not doing this.
I don't want to lose my family the way Aunt Carmelita did.
If you don't stop living in the past, then I don't know how to help you.
Grandpa, I just want to apologize.
You know how they say, feel like your mother. Feel like your grandmother.
If there's one thing my mother cherished more than family, it is Christmas with the family.
Even though Grandma isn't here, she still managed to give us the best Christmas ever.
Group hug?
I like to look at the end from Davi, by the way, which I thought was cute, because I look at Robert as sort of this always the intense actor, whether he's playing a Bond villain or he's in The Profiler on NBC. He's always intense. He's known more for drama. I mean, he is a very funny guy from what I understand. But obviously, doing something like this where it's the softer side of Davi, I think it comes through a little bit in the trailer, and I hope it does interpret well in the movie. You know best. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching it.
It does. It's a great little movie, and they're doing really well with it. And of course, this is the second Christmas it's got its re-release, and it's doing really well. Who knows? Hopefully, they'll make a sequel. I know the producer director is trying to work with me on a show that we wrote about my life called Growing Up Grand. So I hope that all happens, and I guess I can call Terry Polo these days and say, hey, listen, I think that's something that maybe you'd like to do.
Yeah.
I could call Nick, and of course, Davi. We talk all the time.
Fantastic. I'll keep my fingers crossed on all fronts. Again, Four Cousins and a Christmas, now available on Amazon Prime, and also can be rented through YouTube. Mike Marino is here on the A Game. All right, time for random shots. This is the part where I take pieces of your life, even your comedy routine, and try to turn them into questions. I haven't done this in a while. Usually during a random shot, I take a random shot, and thank you, Ming, for having Harlem Standard whiskey here that I will take a random shot on, and I will say cheers to you. Thank you for coming on, sir, and we'll get going here. Oh, thank you. That'll wake you up. Oh, boy. All right. All right. So based on your comedy routine, I have to ask this question. Most interesting item you have ever taken from a hotel room?
I take something every time. I'm never going to stop, man.
No, and it's interesting because I watched that clip and you talk about just some of the small things. Soap, I'll load up a year's supply of soap. I'm just going to, no, if the lady's outside, oh, I'm hijacking the truck. You just very blunt and honest about it.
When I first started doing stand-up comedy and we were driving around the country trying to make ends meet,
right?
We took the toilet paper from every hotel, the soap from every hotel, and the shampoo because you needed it and you didn't want to spend any money on it, and you could take it, right? So if you did 7 days at a hotel, you're going home with 7 toilet papers and 7 shampoos. When I got older and I started making a great living, I still took the stuff because it was in me. I have not bought toilet paper in my entire life. I just take it. I have to. It's something I like to do. But then I started seeing other things. Now, you can't really take towels because, quite honestly, those towels have been on somebody else's body.
Yeah, then you got to look at it that way. Even if it's been washed, you don't know where it's been. Well, you kind of know where it's been, but anyway.
But if you're in a hotel like the Riviera Casino in Vegas, and you know that someday they're going to implode that sucker and it's not going to be there anymore.
True.
You have to have something. So I would take pieces of carpet. I would take lamps, anything that might say Riviera on it.
Wow.
A photograph frame or the photograph itself off the wall. TVs were too big at the time. That was before flat screen TV.
Right.
So I would take the table the TV was on. Really, I would load my car with stuff because I thought eventually it's not going to be there.
Right.
Now you start getting even older and you're thinking, well, I got to take something of sentimental value.
Yeah.
That will remind me of where I was. So I actually did walk out of a casino with a love seat.
How did you pull that off? Wait a minute. How did you pull that off?
Some guy helped me put it in the elevator, and I said I was moving out.
And I'm hearing you're talking about something like this in your comedy routine, and I thought, okay, he's exaggerating.
You're
not exaggerating. This actually freaking happened. Holy crap.
There's a tiny love seat, put it in the elevator, stood it up on the angle like this. So when I went down and I took it out, we went into the valet parking guy knows me. He knows I'm one of the comedians in the show.
Right.
This is at the Tropicana. Okay. And he goes, what are you doing? And I go, nothing. And he goes, you can't just leave with the love seat. I'm like, oh, no, it's not theirs. I brought it. I brought it from home. I got a bad back. And he put it in the trunk of my car and he helped me rope it in.
For God's sake, I think you missed your call. You should have been in sales, but comedy works just great for you. Oh, my God.
That's amazing. It's funny, but I got a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. That's crazy. But again, at least you got stories to tell for the rest of your life with some of this stuff. That's
you could go buy something. You could buy a tchotchke at a whatever store that is, whatever they call that, souvenir store, souvenir shop.
Yeah.
But isn't it more fun to tell the story of where you got it? How you got it?
Especially if you got a love seat out of a Las Vegas hotel. I mean, come on.
Hey, listen to this. There is an island in Alaska. I can't think of what it's called, but I've been on cruise ships that go to Alaska. And you pull into this one area of Alaska, is nothing around. You just walk the beaches and you see the whales, you see the wildlife and stuff like this. And there's signs that say you can't take shells, you can't take rocks, you can't disturb the wildlife.
Okay.
I have so many stones from Ketchikan, Alaska. I put them in my shoes. I put them in my bottoms of my pockets. I sneaked them on the plane somehow. They're the most beautiful rocks. But I got a story there from Ketchikan.
Right.
Nobody else has them, unless you're crazy like me.
Well, that's true. You know, it's a story that'll last forever, and that'll be like, you'll be in your 90s just did I ever tell you the story of me being on a cruise ship going to Alaska? You're right. It's a story that will last forever.
There's a place in Arizona, the Red Rock, whatever it's called, and you're not allowed to take any of the Red Rock. On the 3 doors in my house are being held open by Red Rock. Come on, man.
I'm visiting you in Pastoria up in where's that middle?
Come on over, man. Come down
I
the
will.
basement.
Oh no, I'm going to you. I got to say right now, Mike already invited me on his podcast. I am taking you up on it. I just got to figure out a Tuesday night where I can do it. I will definitely.
Tuesday nights at 8:00. We have food.
Mm-hmm.
We have fun. We act stupid. I got a real bar just filled with every beverage you could think of, and I don't even drink. I got a refrigerator from Grandma's house loaded with ginger ale.
No, nice. Like I said, I look forward to saying paying it forward. Since you invited me on, and you're on mine. Got to do it.
I love it, bro.
Random shot number 2. Most amount of time you've ever spent in an IKEA.
I only went to IKEA once, and I went to go buy a desk.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the IKEA, I'm saying to myself, there's too much jokes in here. There's too many jokes in here. So I went back with a pad and a pen, and I said, I need to experience this place. Because after you do walk around for hours, because they won't let you know how to get out. The whole thing's a conspiracy. You got to go around and around and around. You got to see everything. You see everything, and then you eat meatballs. That's the whole trap. And then they really trap you when you're done, and you say, okay, I want to check out. And they say, well, here it is in 200 pieces. It's in a box. Take it home and put it together. I'm like, no, get in the car. You're coming to my house and you're building it with me.
As the Italian in you kind of going, no, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
You're coming with me now.
You're going to get your drill.
Yeah. Get your drill. Come on. You cannot say no. You're not going to do that.
It's like a mouse trap for human beings.
I've been to the IKEA once. You got a point there. Yeah. No wonder everybody stops and, hey, have some food. There you go.
I love to go in places like IKEA and stand in the candle section and say, do you have candles? Because they have mass amounts of candles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of your shopping, you're going home with candles. You didn't even go in there for candles. You figure you might as well take them because they're here.
It's
true. Got to buy a candle.
It's true. I got to tap the Italian side of you, obviously, with 2 Italians talking. More Italian, De Niro, Pacino, or Pesci?
Well, I'd say Pesci.
Yeah, so would I.
Pesci reminds me of an authentic Italian guy from New Jersey because he is.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's always portrayed in his roles because he does a lot more than just that.
Right.
But he is Jersey electrified.
And you get parts of that for sure in My Cousin Vinny. You really do. And maybe a little bit exaggerated, but the Jersey Italian comes out in him a lot.
I'm pretty sure Ralph Macchio's from New Jersey, too.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could explain the chemistry that works so well between the two in that movie, because it really did. The two of them together really it's just such a great movie. It still withstands the test of time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's going to be this classic. He's got classic lines in almost all his movies.
Oh God! I mean, everybody can pretty much quote the Goodfellas scene. What do you mean I'm funny? Tell me why I'm funny. What am I, a clown? Do I amuse you?
You said it. You said it. How am I funny?
Exactly.
What makes me so funny? Yeah, but not only that, but in Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Hit me in the face. Hit me in the face. Well, what am I going to hit you with? The table?
And then you forget about Pesci a little bit in Raging Bull because it was such a tour de force by De Niro's Jake LaMotta, but without his brother, meaning Pesci's role, I mean, you lose something in this whole thing. It's a very good point.
They've been working together for their whole lives. Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing.
And of course, Casino.
Yeah, it's another great movie. And there it is. If he had to pick between, a Godfather, a Goodfellas, a Casino, I don't think you can choose one. I mean, yeah, The Godfather, is such a classic movie, but Goodfellas took another generation, and that's their classic movie. Then you take Casino, and somewhere in the mix, that's always going to pop up and say, it's just as good as the other two.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I guess I have an affection for those type of movies, and that's why I did my web series, Make America Italian Again, about the funny version of the mob.
Absolutely. A couple more things about the Italian that has to be brought up. Greatest Italian athlete. I mean, we talking DiMaggio, we talking Mike Piazza, we talking Phil Esposito. Who comes to mind when you talk about a great Italian athlete?
Rocky Marciano.
There you go. Had to be done. A little before my time, but I watched films of some of his fights, and I'm like going, Oh my God. He would have beaten just about anybody even today. Just his style was just like full steam ahead. I'm going to hit you with everything I got, and you're not going to get up.
I just was given a T-shirt that says Rocky Marciano this weekend when I was in Canada, and it made me think about The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason or other, I was watching Rocky on one of the planes. The first Rocky,
sure.
was on a plane watching Rocky, and it makes you think about that cheer for the underdog.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the other dog, and I watch Rocky, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then you listen to Burgess Meredith going, you remind me of The Rock. Yeah.
Exactly.
Rocky Marciano. Yeah. You remind me of him, man.
That's a good impression of Burgess. Nicely done.
I want to be a manager. You need a manager. I got all this up here, and I want to give it to
you. Nice. The definitive Italian question, and you know this from growing up at home on a Sunday when it's being cooked for the family. Is it sauce or is it gravy? What is it?
Well, I come from the family that says gravy.
There you go.
A lot of people say, is it a Jersey thing? It's not. My parents and my mother's brothers and sisters are all from Italy, and they said gravy.
Right.
Marinara was sauce.
Right.
Gravy was made because there was meat in it, like brajioles and meatballs and pork, and that made it gravy.
Right. And yet this is the thing that causes so many debates. I mean, you could go for hours as people going, how can you call it gravy?
I had a linguist on one of my shows, and she said sauce comes from the word succa. Succa means sauce.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, maybe that's the way those people were in the old country.
Right.
Well, my family comes from the old country. And if they said it there and now they're saying it here, why would that have anything to do with New Jersey? It doesn't.
It doesn't. You just prove the theory. It's like, this has nothing to do with Jersey. This is just the way it is. You have to accept. Sometimes you just have to accept.
I can tell you this. Gravy I can have. Sauce I can't. I got heartburn.
Oh, see, there you go.
Too much acid in sauce.
Yeah, well, I've been having acid problems. I've been told, cut back on the tomato sauce.
On the sauce.
Yeah.
But if you put a little meat in there, it dilutes that acidity.
The acids in the tomatoes, exactly.
Supposed to put a little sugar in there.
And my mother was notorious for that. Always put the sugar in the marinara. She did that.
I put cinnamon in my coffee grinds.
Oh, that's a great idea. I always, because when I do my coffee, I'm always trying to put some cinnamon in the coffee. So
smells better, tastes a little bit better, but it cuts out the acid.
I never thought of that. So actually putting it in the grinds cuts down the acid where I'm putting it in afterwards. Interesting.
Put it in the grinds. Mix it in.
I will try that, definitely.
It's a very educational show.
See, you thought it was all about comedy, and there's some education here.
It's very educational.
All right, one more random shot. And Ming, get photo number 4 ready. I will just say it this way. Mike, when I put this photo up, caption it the way you want. Photo 4.
Oh, damn. Holy crap. Where did you find that?
I will blame Marilyn Gigliotti, a very good friend of mine who's a part of Clerks and now Clerks 3. And Marilyn was there. She did not work on your makeup. She was working on the other 2 people. And when she found out you were coming on my podcast, she's like, share this photo. So if you can give a little history of what's going on here, what was this all about?
Oh, this is great. This is really great. Holy crap. I've been trying to get Marilyn on my show. She got really, really busy, and I was touring, and I was trying to get her to come on my podcast in Los Angeles. And I know she's either friends or working with Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Another Jersey boy who I've never met. I can't believe I've never met Kevin Smith. We've been crisscrossing each other through our lives in this industry, especially Red Bank and Asbury Park and all these people. He probably don't even know who I am. But we were doing a movie. The movie was called Average Ordinary Guys.
Okay.
And in the movie, it was done by this guy, Michael Kehoe, who I just was talking to about doing another movie recently with Marco Asante, who's not in that picture, but he's in that movie. He's the guy who got me in that movie. And Marco Asante is Armand Asante's cousin.
Oh, okay. There is a connection there.
There is. And Marco Asante is a stand-up comedian, and he plays my underboss in the web series Make America Italian Again. So in this particular movie, one of the jokes and the reveal is we can't seem to find the one hitman, and we think another family took him out. So we go to get revenge to the other family, and he shows up dressed in drag. Like, where are you? Where have you been? And he goes, look, I needed to make some extra money, so I'm working at a drag club. And you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the drag club is owned by the other mob family. And he goes, I told you he was working for me. He's not working for me as a hitman. He's working for me as a stripper. So he goes over to the club and he says, we could do this.
Right.
So we all dress in drag, all the hitmen, all the wise guys, and we do a dance. And that's us all dressed in drag. And I got to tell you, I think it was 6 guys dressed like girls.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't skimp on anything. I had to shave my armpits.
Oh, wow.
I had to shave my legs. Of course, shave your face.
Of course.
And they made us look like the best drag females. That's me in the purple. Oh, I'm so fat. That's disgusting. They put the wig on. But one of the funniest things, look, we're all drinking chocolate shakes.
Yes, I do notice that. That's true.
Where are those dudes? Anyhow, I would love to have that picture. But
my guy, I'll definitely text you that for sure.
We did some outtakes, and some guy comes over to me, and I'm supposed to be all pretty and whatnot. And the guy goes, I got a jacuzzi at my house. And I go like this, where do you live?
With the deep voice. Nice.
Man, oh man, what a surprise. That's the biggest surprise I've ever gotten on a show.
Well, thank you. And when you talk to Pastore, he will tell you, I usually try to get that one moment, whether it's the question that goes, oh, that was a good one, or the photo that goes, zing. And at least I got that. And I got to thank Marilyn for that. Man. Yeah, and I know Marilyn will come on your podcast at some point. She's, like I said, God bless her. Clerks 3 is doing so well, and I'm happy it's kind of rejuvenating some things as she's out on the road. So, and I know she's coming on my podcast at some point again as well. So she's good like that. She'll make it up to you without a doubt.
Wonderful. Wow. What a small world.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's like, like I said, the little ties that bind, and there's a lot more ties between us than you ever thought.
Cool, man. Cool. I'm glad you shared that.
Absolutely. I'm going to share photo number 3. I know it's from a recent podcast, but just to remind everybody, Live at My Mother's Basement is every Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. That was his recent episode that happened on the 13th. So who's coming on tomorrow, by the way?
Tomorrow night, I have Marianne Axton coming on a show. She's a celebrity chef and a pastry chef. She makes the most incredible cakes.
Nice.
And she makes these cupcakes, and she's going to make stuff on the show tomorrow night, and we're going to eat it.
Nice.
I have the most incredible cupcakes in my refrigerator upstairs because she came and watched a prior show, and she left some cakes. And they're really just insane. So, and she's been recently featured on the Drew Barrymore show for not only making her cakes, but they did this thing where they were doing blind dates.
Right.
So they hooked her up with somebody. I don't know how.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to get into that story when you find out what the end result of that was, obviously. Oh, by the way, if you do want to follow Mike's podcast, I know you got your YouTube channel, which they can follow
at Mike Marino Live on all social media, at Mike Marino, Marino Live.
There you go. And check it all out. And I am following his channel. You should too. There's a lot of great stuff on there from his comedy routines and all the past episodes. And then you get the most recent episodes while you're following him. So that helps as well. You're going back on the road, I know. I'll wrap it up with this because a lot of people have been a little reluctant to go back on the cruise as a vacation. So I asked this question as my phone goes off in the middle of a podcast. And it's funny. Real quick. Mom, not now. Sorry.
You got an old school ringer, huh?
Yeah, I got the old school ringer on that. I should have probably silenced it, but I didn't expect my mother to call me in the middle of a podcast. But what's it like being on the cruise ships again? I mean, are people starting to gravitate back into taking the vacations and feeling safe and really enjoying themselves again?
I did a few cruise ships during the pandemic, and there was no one on the ship.
Ouch.
It was like a ghost ship.
Yeah.
There was more employees than passengers. In the last couple of months, I went back on some mega ships, and they're packed.
Oh, that's good to hear.
6,000 people a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So this Friday, I leave for the Wonder of the Seas, which is a Royal Caribbean ship,
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest ships in all fleets. There'll be about 6,000 to 7,000 people on the ship. We do a bunch of shows on the ship. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I'm actually going to get off and get on another ship and go back in a different direction. So I'm going to go to the Bahamas on one, and then like St. Kitts and St. Thomas and on another. Now, you spend Christmas and New Year's as an entertainer on a ship. Why not?
Why not?
You make great money,
Mm-hmm.
entertain all of these people. When it's over, you come home and say hello to your family.
Yeah, and then you get to stay home for a couple weeks, and then you're back out on the road again. As a matter of fact, that first leg of your tour begins January 11th. You'll be down in Port Charlotte, Florida.
Yeah.
Just dates down there. Then you're going through the state in February. When are we looking at circling back toward New York, New Jersey area for anybody who's watching this in the local area?
March 25 will be my big return to New Jersey. 2,000-seat theater. It's called the Carteret Performing Arts Center.
I have heard of it. They just opened up last year. Of course,
Yeah.
the screens from Carteret debuted it. I hear it's a gorgeous theater, so that's a great place for you to land. Absolutely.
It'll be a big night. Bring everybody. It's going to be a whole new show, new material. I got my characters that I'm doing, Uncle Tommy, Mooney, Michelle, all the crazy, stupid stuff that I'm going to do. So if everybody's watching and they want to come down, come down. That's the Carteret Performing Arts Center in Carteret, New Jersey, March 25 at 8 o'clock, featuring also a very good friend of mine, very, very funny guy, Freddie Rubino. Maybe you'd like to have him on your show. He's here in New Jersey as well.
I'll definitely. Yeah, I love having comedians on, so I will absolutely take you up on that. But Mike, thank you so much. This was as much fun as I thought it was going to be, especially, like I said, a fellow Italian. Hey, Paisan, we got to do this, you know.
Give me that picture.
One more time with the picture, put it up there.
Ah!
You will be getting a copy of that, so look for that in your phone, by the way. And that is a wrap for tonight. That's the A Game. I'm Rob Acampora. Since I'm not doing anything the rest of this week, have a great holiday. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, enjoy your Christmas season. And we'll be back in 2023, bigger and stronger than ever. For Mike Marino, I'm Rob Acampora. That's it. We're out.